So now comes inverse trigonometry. The identity in inverse trigonometry, sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x is equal to pi by 2. Secant inverse of x plus cosecant inverse of x is equal to pi by 2. Cot inverse of x plus tan inverse of x is equal to pi by 2. Let me teach you what is inverse trigonometry. You have a sine graph in trigonometry where x-axis will have pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi, and 1 and minus 1 on the y-axis. When you do a graph, sin 0 is 0, sin 90 is 1, sin 180 is minus 1, you will do a sine graph like this. Okay, the domain here is radians, the range here is 1 and minus 1. Inverse trigonometry, apply it is reversing. The 1 and minus 1 will be in the x-axis, and the domain and the range will, domain that was here will become the range here, such as pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2 and all will be on the y-axis. The graph will go like this, sin 0 is 0, sin 90 is 1, it will go like this. So it is basically shifting this graph by 90 degree, that's all. That is, your domain and the range is getting interchanged. For example, sin 90 is 1, take the sign to that side, sin inverse of 1 becomes 90 here. Can you see this becomes 1 becomes your domain and pi by 2 becomes your range. For example, tan 45, pi by 4 is 1. Tan inverse of 1 is equal to pi by 4 and so on. Cos inverse of 0 is equal to 1 because cos 0 is 1. So this is what is inverse trigonometry all about. Okay, where the domain and the range is getting interchanged when compared to trigonometry. The first identities in inverse trigonometry is these three. Just mug it up. There is no everything is positive sign. The secant and cosecant are paired and cot and tan are paired. So you can write a cos inverse of x as pi by 2 minus sin inverse of x. Sin inverse of x as pi by 2 minus cos inverse of x. You can take it to that side. Simple. This is the identities. Next is reciprocal functions. What a reciprocal function in trigonometry, sin or reciprocal cosecant, cos or reciprocal secant அந்த மாதிரி இருக்குல்ல, இங்க வந்து sin inverse of x is cosecant inverse of 1 by x. Cos inverse of x is secant inverse of 1 by x. Tan inverse of x is cot inverse of 1 by x and so on. Negative argument. What are negative argument? Cos of minus theta is cos theta, sin of minus theta is minus sin theta in trigonometry. Here, sin inverse la negative sign இருந்தா எப்படி deal பண்றது? Cos inverse la negative sign இருந்தா எப்படி பண்றது? Secant inverse la negative இருந்தா எப்படி பண்றது? Tan inverse, cot inverse, cosecant inverse. I want you to simply memorize this music. Cos, secant, cot அப்படின்னு 10 தடவை சொல்லு. Cos, secant, cot, cos, secant, cot. எதுக்குன்னா இதிலெல்லாம் வந்து நெகட்டிவ் சைன் இருந்தா, இன்வெர்ஸ் trigonometryல நெகட்டிவ் சைன் இருந்தா, I can write it as pi minus. Can you see cos is here? I can write it as pi minus cos inverse of x. நெகட்டிவ் சைன் போயிடும். Secant, pi minus secant inverse of x. Cot, pi minus cot inverse of x. மற்றதுக்கெல்லாம் you can just simply take the negative sign out. Minus tan inverse of x, minus cosecant inverse of x. Understand? So this music is very important. Negative argument. Only for cos, secant and cot inverse you are writing pi minus. Others you can take the negative sign out. The next thing is reciprocal functions. As I have said. Now formulas. Tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y is tan inverse of x plus y by 1 minus xy. It's like tan a plus tan b by 1 minus tan a tan b. அப்படி சொல்ற மாதிரியே இருக்கும். It will always resemble trigonometry because it's the inverse of it. So tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y is tan inverse of x plus y by 1 minus xy. Tan inverse of x minus tan inverse of y is tan inverse of x minus y by 1 plus xy. Okay, suppose this is tan inverse of x and this is also tan inverse of x. You get a new formula which is 2 tan inverse of x. And in inverse trigonometry முழுக்கவே we don't want 2 tan inverse. We have to write it as இங்க 2 tan inverse இருந்தது, we wrote as 1 tan inverse. So ஒரு tan inverse of, can you see it's x plus x ன்னு இருக்கும். So 2x by 1 minus x square because no y here. So this is one formula. Then 2 tan inverse can also be written as sin inverse of 2x by 1 plus x square. 2 2 tan inverse can be written as cos inverse of 2x by 1 plus x square. You have to memorize all these formulas here, which is going to be useful for you. Become very clear and only then go to the next step, okay? Supposing tan inverse of tan theta irukku vechukoye, you can cancel tan inverse and tan and write the answer as theta. Suppose tan inverse of cot theta irundaduna, you want tan inverse of tan, so you can write this cot theta as trigonometry tan 90 minus theta, complementary angle. So answer will be 90 minus theta. So tan inverse, for example, sin inverse of cos theta is sin inverse of sin 90 minus theta nu potta dhaan sin inverse and sin cancel panna mudiyum. So these are simple things such as this. Complementary angle is meant trigonometry eppadi onna innona convert pannalam. Okay, ana inverse trigonometry பொறுத்த வரைக்கும், for example tan inverse of root 3 னு இருக்குன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. இது root 3 tan ங்கிறது opposite by adjacent. So root 3 by 1 அப்படி imagine பண்ணி opposite ல root 3, adjacent ல 1. So root of 3 minus 1, 3 plus 1, which is 4. So 1 to root 3. So இப்படி கிடைச்சிருது. So you can write it as sin inverse of root 3 by 2, cos inverse of 1 by 2. எப்படி வேணா you can, inverse trigonometry can be converted from one to another by just merely drawing a triangle. Are you clear? Whereas trigonometry has to be converted from one to another by doing complementary angle. Suppose for example cos inverse of cos 4 pi by 3 னு ஒரு சம் இருக்குன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. நீ இப்படி கேன்சல் பண்ணி 4 pi by 3 னு எழுதலாம்னு பண்ணவே கூடாது. Okay, I'll just tell you what you need to do. Cos inverse of cos pi 4 pi by 3 na inga trigonometry vandirudhu. You have to solve this as cos pi plus pi by 3, and you know in the third quadrant only tan will be negative, so you'll get minus cos pi by 3. You still have a cos inverse which you have not used, and now it gets negative argument. Can you see? Cos inverse of minus x mariye irukku, where x ku badala cos pi by 3, correct ah? Whose formula is pi minus cos inverse of x. சொல்லி கொடுத்திருக்கேன். Cos, secant, cot. இல்லைல்ல pi minus வரணும். So it will become pi minus cos inverse of x க்கு பதிலா என்ன போடணும்? Cos pi by 3. So cos inverse cos get cancelled. Pi minus pi by 3 itself is 2 pi by 3. Hence the answer is this and not 4 pi by 3. இப்படி எழுதினா மார்க் கொடுக்க மாட்டான். Because you still have to solve the trigonometry part and write the principal solution. Hope you're clear till here. Then I told you how to convert inverse trigonometry one into another, any tan to cosine or tan to cos or anything you want by drawing a triangle. I told you in trigonometry how you can convert is by using complementary angle. So next is I'm going to teach you one sum, and if you can learn this sum, everything becomes easy. It's one of the toughest sums, but try to understand what I'm trying to tell you here. Whomever were listening to me in the class yesterday, I'm sure you're all very clear. You also did the sum here. Only for Durga I'm concerned. So if the sum is sin in Durga, you must know the question and the answer, Durga. When I teach you, you must slowly learn the question and the answer. And you'll see magic. After you learn this, you'll see when you open the textbook, you know everything and the feeling varum. Okay, matha students ellarkum inni kekla and the group la, they got it, okay? So you'll also eventually get it. Sin inverse of 1 minus x minus 2 sin inverse of x is equal to pi by 2. இது வந்து solve for x அப்படின்னு கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க. இந்த pi by 2 பார்த்த உடனே I can take this to the other side because pi by 2 minus sin inverse will give me cos inverse identities, correct? Whereas I can't take this one to the right side because it's got this 2 and it's got a minus sign also. I want pi by 2 minus. So minus 2 sin inverse of x is equal to pi by 2 minus sin inverse of 1 minus x. Minus 2 sin inverse of x will become cos inverse of 1 minus x, because pi by 2 minus sin inverse, what is it? Identities. Now I told you I don't want 2 sin inverse of x, so I can take the sin inverse of x as theta by 2. So sin theta by 2 becomes x. அப்படிங்கறத கட்டம் போட்டு வெச்சுக்கோ. இது assumption, we are assuming like this because to eliminate the 2, so minus 2 into sin inverse of x போல theta by 2 போட்டா 2 cancel ஆயிடுது. Cos inverse of 1 minus x kadiyadu, x itself has now become sin theta by 2. Now just see here, Durga, take the cos inverse to the left hand side, so it will become cos of minus theta, correct? Inverse அந்த பக்கம் கொண்டு போனா cos ஆயிடும். இப்போ cos of minus theta is cos theta, which is 1 minus sin theta by 2. அப்படியே கொண்டு வரேன். You can write this as 1 minus 2 sin square theta by 2, the third formula of cos theta. Okay, half angle formula. 1 and 1 get cancelled, minus minus get cancelled. Now consolidate sin theta by 2. 2 sin theta by 2 minus 1 is equal to 0. Solve, last year solve பண்ணிருப்பீங்கல்ல trigonometry sin theta by 2 is equal to 0, sin theta by 2 is equal to 1 by 2. I don't have to solve further because sin theta by 2 is what is x and I have to solve for x, so I got the answer for x to be 0 and x to be 1 by 2. Now on substituting 0 in the question, it will satisfy the question, so it's the right answer. Whereas when I substitute 1 by 2 in the place of x in the question, it will not satisfy. You can substitute and see it will not satisfy, hence this answer is not applicable. Okay. So if you had understood this sum, try to just do it again and again, get it into your mind, and once you're clear with the sum, everything will become easy.